if Gytis allows, I actually had brought some more paper on this stage. So sorry for this, but I promise it will be worth it. Now, maybe my first point is a big thank you to Mindaugas for making a very good presentation of our think tank. I just wanted to say a few words about the think tank also. You know, the idea of the think tank that Mindaugas has presented is actually to end this long-term, so to say, long-term position or long-term thinking that we, with the ministry, we, the government, we know best. The idea is actually to have more ideas, more open minds, and open the doors to those open minds. So I actually also wanted to invite people and open minds from my side also to join the think tank, because the time schedule is very tight, and we want to make sure that we will be able to have good investment ideas and good investment activities for the next years to be started. Now, but the think tank is also a very good example of cooperation. And as Gytis has actually mentioned, transport is not only one country's sector. Transport by nature is international. So what we need a very good international cooperation. And to start, I actually want to excuse myself and excuse because our minister could not come and join this very nice conference. But I have three basic and three main messages on behalf of my minister to you. The first message is that simple things actually can bring up big transformations. We know that all the government offices, all the businesses, they have their own internal sophisticated IT systems, but they don't all the time communicate with each other. And as a result, you have, I don't know if you see it, but you have this bunch of paper that Gytis brought on the stage. So this is the result. So the message is, if we want to make change, and a big one, you don't all the time have to think about something very sophisticated. You have to actually start from the very simple and very obvious things. The second message is that the European Union shows us the way, in a sense. We have the FT regulation, which sets a clear deadline, 2024. But is this a challenge or is this an opportunity? And I would like to actually see it as a big opportunity. We know that the Baltics, and that's the third message, the Baltics and the Eastern Partnership countries, they have a very good position today to start this transformation in the region. We have a very good pilot project. We have already very good and very strong cooperation in transport sector. There are lots of transport flows between us. So we have a very good opportunity to use this good basis and to initiate a huge reform in the region, and hopefully and probably we will be able to remain leaders in Europe and to show Europe the way also. So with this brief intervention and with this brief introduction, I would like to actually say that I'm very happy that we are adopting today a ministerial declaration on e-freight. But it's just not, we don't want to just simply adopt the declaration. We wanted to ask the leaders in the region, those countries and their ministers, what has been achieved? How can we move forward And what will be the next steps? So this is how I want to start this debate. And I would like to invite the first speaker, who is Mr. Gytis Linkaitis, Minister of Transport of the Republic of Latvia. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests of the International Transport Innovation Forum, I'm sending best regards from Latvia to you. This year will go down in the history as a year that brought new and unprecedented challenges for all of us. We faced problems never known before and experienced necessity to change the usual practices in all sectors, transport and logistics sector not being an exclusion. Let me remind that freight transport played an essential role of movement of essential goods like food and medicine in circumstances where borders were closed. However, every challenge is an opportunity, and despite difficulties, we not only progressed with ongoing projects, but also initiated new ones. Transport systems involve various actors, passengers, carriers, and transport system operators, service industry and others. And everyone expects to receive high quality and efficient services. Today, efficient logistics solutions and their development play a major role in any country's economy, and therefore it is very important balancing such aspects as reliability, efficiency, sustainability, speed, and cost. And that can be significantly facilitated by modern technological solutions. Latvia has always emphasized the growing importance of information technology that promotes usage of electronic documents and digitalization of processes in transport and logistics system. We see it as a chance to increase the competitiveness of the sector by helping to reduce various administrative and bureaucratic barriers, taking into account growing needs from customers. Last but not least, it is especially important now when the whole world is learning to avoid unnecessary direct people-to-people contact. For the past several years, Latvia has actively worked on including digital innovations in the field of transport and logistics. As an example, can be mentioned implementing the International Cargo Logistics and Ports Information System. We are also working on the implementation of initiatives at EU level. For example, the EU Single Maritime Windows project, as well as analyzing next steps in the fulfillment of the electronic freight transport regulation. That is an important step towards digitalization of logistics documents. Additionally, forthcoming European mobility data space announced by the European Commission will make a significant contribution to this direction. At the national level, Latvia is currently working on digital transformation guidelines for the next 7 years, set out to develop a range of activities, including identifying Internet as a basic need. We are also part of several joint projects with our partners, with whom we share common goals and have the same vision as regards future development. For instance, since 2017, Latvia is involved in the Digital Innovation Network Interreg Baltic Sea Region project, which is followed by the ECMR prototype development project of the Nordic Council of Ministers. In the framework of this project, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Poland have agreed on a common international ECMR indexing system, which helps fostering the Baltic Sea region's transition to a single digital market by covering 3 common challenges: uptake of information and communication technologies in the business sector, innovation and operability of public services, cooperation and coordination of digital policies on the macro-regional level. It is obvious that digitalization and open data will play a large role in transport and logistics in the coming years, ensuring better and more efficient work. In order to boost it, more digital means in all fields will be required, since nowadays a lot of day-to-day operations still are relying on exchange of paper-based information, creating burden for businesses and public authorities. A harmonized use of digital tools in combination with further standardization in shipment and labeling systems is the way to go. Moreover, technologies like 5G will enable in the future not only possibility to introduce semi-autonomous or even autonomous driving, but also contribute towards road planning, increasing the overall efficiency of the operations. To conclude, I'm looking forward to the declaration on digital freight transport data exchange, and I am sure that many joint projects are to follow from the declaration. Once again, let me thank you for the attention, and I wish all of us great success moving forward. And most importantly, stay healthy.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is our friends and colleagues from Estonia. And the speaker is Mr. Taavi Aas, Minister of Economic Affairs and Infrastructure.
I am honored to be part of this event today. Estonia is pleased to be at the forefront of the initiatives that have led to the declaration today. The Tigina and Tigina Proto projects led by our ministry have helped us to take a step forward to freight transport digitalization in the Baltic Sea region, but also to achieve practical results in prototyping and testing of cross-border road transport data exchange model. I am convinced that we shall move on and develop a working solution upon the pilot initiative as at least in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. The future cooperation projects such as TINACAP and real-time economy need a closer cross-border cooperation at both public and corporate level. I believe that the future mobility system can be adapted to the needs of the carriage of passengers and goods. It needs to be safe, efficient, smart, multimodal and respect the green goals. Within digital solutions, a new layer of infrastructure, the European Mobility Data Space, will be created. Based in synchronized mobility data, the smart connectivity of transport modes and infrastructure will be achieved. Cross-border cooperation is still the key word. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania are contributing to the completion of Rail Baltic. Meanwhile, we look forward to the Amber Chain project intermodal transport joint venture. This will facilitate north-south freight transport using today's infrastructure. We hope that innovation will come in the field of alternative fuels, both regarding infrastructure as well as selection of fleets. Concerning personal vehicles, I hope that we can see mobility as a service solution expanding and finding their place in the mobility market. Smart rental services, together with public transit and active mobility solutions, will motivate people to use more sustainable alternatives and have less cars. In the coming years, we hope to see shuttles reach market maturity in some key operational domains. For example, connecting suburban areas with the larger roads and public transit. Estonia has a strong cluster of transit and IT companies who demonstrate the great readiness to work in the field of electronic transport data exchange. We are very open to cooperation. It's confirmed by the fact that we decided to share the completed prototype as a free software. Anyone interested can become a part of the pilot.
Thank you, Mr. Minister Aas. I actually wanted just to also draw the attention. There was one very dear to my heart message in Minister Aas' message, which was that actually railway also play one of the key role in the digitalization of transport. But let's go forward, and our next speaker is from Ukraine, and this is Mr. Farid Safarov, the Director General of the Directorate for Digital Infrastructure on Transport of the Ministry of Infrastructure. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you from Ukraine, and on behalf of the Ministry of Infrastructure of Ukraine, thanks the organizers for inviting me to this conference and for the expressed interest in the digital transformation process in the transport sector, which we are currently implementing. I would like to know that at the moment the Ministry of Infrastructure is developing over 30 digital projects, from the introduction of the electronic exchange of permits for international freight road transport to the electronic Siemens cabinet, from the dispatching system for drones to a single electronic ticket for passenger traffic. We have combined transportation by air, bus, rail, and municipal transport into a single ticket which allowed the passenger to travel all over the country, within the country, buying only one ticket for a route with a single identifier in the form of a QR code and not for several types of transport. But still, what I want to actually say is that we decided to understand what is the main top priority for the development of transport and logistics, and particularly in Ukraine, we came to a conclusion that it is the provision of multimodal container transportation. To this end, we launched the ePort project, the goal of which is to unite sea, rail, and road transport into a single supply chain. In addition to transport companies, the State Customs Service is also one of the beneficiaries and participants in this process. Why did we decide to develop this project? First of all, the potential of container transportation is not developed in Ukraine. Only about 1 million containers per year enter our ports, but there is an infrastructure that is ready to use to receive and serve a larger volume. Secondly, we understand the convenience of container transportation and the gradual transition to them for most of the world's transportation of goods. And thirdly, as a result of the second point, this will allow us to increase traffic flows through Ukraine. Containers enter the ports of the Black Sea, for example, and afterwards they are loaded onto the railroad or into cars and are sent to our western borders to enter Europe. So what prevented us from doing this even now without digital solutions? Actually, the answer is simple: competition of the Black Sea ports of other states. And to be more competitive, we decided to create added value and convenience for shippers. And as you, Mr. Speaker, mentioned earlier, simple solutions can make great things. And by digitalization of all the processes, we understand that we can be more competitive. A cargo tracking system of electronic filling of documents, informing state bodies and declaring cargo, system of electronic filling of applications for transportation of certain types of transport. Not a complete list of solutions that we have already started implementing within the port project. And task is the seamless process of transporting goods between different countries. So when we are talking about digitalization, actually it opens the borders between different states, between our neighborhood states, between states that do not have the common borders with us, but nevertheless, it allows us to improve the way how the transportation is fulfilled. It allows us to provide, as a government, more convenient services to our customers, to those who send the goods, who use our transportation companies and who use our territory on their logistic routes while shipping the goods from point A to point B. And we strongly believe that such types of projects, as well as ECMR project, will allow countries to collaborate, to cooperate, and to make the world logistics more efficient and much quicker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Safarov. I think that what you say is also very important. We all know that we have very strong cooperation in terms of railways, also the corridors, the Viking train. And I'm quite sure that your vision and your ideas and your actions that you have described will be the key actually for those competitiveness of those projects. So very looking forward to cooperation with you also.
Thank you very much.
The next speaker comes from Azerbaijan, and this is Mr. Elmir Velizadeh, Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Transport, Communications and High Technologies. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I welcome all participants of this conference on behalf of my minister and myself. Great thanks to organizer for this invitation. We consider the topic of this conference very timely and important. I would like to share our experience in this area, which can be served as basis for our future cooperation. As you know, Azerbaijan is located on crossroads of some international transport corridors, as well as north-south, west-east, north-west, Laps-Lazuri roads, and others. It's very important to note that during the coronavirus pandemics, all these roads operated, and Azerbaijan created all the conditions for this. This proved its role as an important link in transport infrastructure of the region. In this matter, we have established effective cooperation with our neighboring countries such as Georgia, Turkey, and other countries of Caspian region. Therefore, we clearly understood the importance of electronic data exchange in freight transport. Certain steps are being taken in this direction. Projects are being implemented. On 2019, we started OSCE project on green port and connectivity for security and economic growth in the Caspian Sea region. This project is considered as a crucial step for cooperation between the port of Baku and the OSCE and the sister ports of the Caspian region in administering environmental protection and accelerating more efficient and timely data exchange in Caspian region. We also have other initiatives. This year, Azerbaijan initiated the creation of a regional logistic platform, GuamNet, with the Eastern Partnership countries, including Georgia, Ukraine, and Moldova. The main goal of the proposed project is to unite all segments of transport information systems of Guam countries on the basis of single digital platform, making the process of cargo delivery as transparent, efficient, and understandable as possible for cargo owners, carriers, and regulatory authorities. The system of transport and logistic information services will be formed on basis of advanced digital technologies and platform solutions that will ensure effective interaction between carriers and cargo owners in all member states. In general, such a platform will optimize process of transportation, cargo declaration, and state control, minimize barriers, and increase competitiveness of participants in transport process. Practical implementation will reduce the cost of transport component in final cost of products, ensure quality and safety, increase the throughput of the Guam International Transport Corridor, its competitiveness and commercial attractiveness, and minimize administrative barriers. The platform should also ensure effective interaction of all participants in the transport and logistic activities within Guam, which include cargo owners, logistic operators, national custom and taxes, and other regulatory authorities, insurance companies, credit and financial organizations, and others. And we're thinking such project, which exists in our region, will create great conditions for our cooperation in future, especially on data exchange on trade transportation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, dear Deputy Minister. I would like now to invite our next speaker, and this is Mr. Robert Kroplewski, the Ministerial Plenipotentiary Representative on the Office of the Prime Minister of Poland. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, host, for organizing that very important and, as I see, also valuable conference. I would like to support the voices what we can heard before with our representatives of other ministers. But from being asked about open mind and open door and trying to see the future, maybe from the Polish side, I would like to underline some topics. It is very good to think about cross-border cooperation. If we talk about transportation in Poland, and then that sector is one of prioritized also, but not thinking internally if we think about market, but also with our neighbors and partners. Especially in the period of digital time and virtualization of the everything in the invisible assets and invisible markets, we need to think digitally. It is worth to create the digital twin for our roads and our transports and our logistics. But if we start to think from something small, what could be big, be very big, we need to develop one standard or the rule that any standard of exchanging data is mutual recognized. This is very important because in the same moment we can create a trusted space of sharing data, and in the same moment we created a space also like a Silicon Valley for our developers who would like or interested to build some algorithms or even artificial intelligence. In Poland, we promote that special concept which is called virtual warehouses of data. It's a special club of interested participants and which who thinks on the same way, like-minded, and the aim of that club is to share data between competitors, but between competitors, but in the same moment to create the possibility to create the intellectual property, which is subject of competition. We believe that the data is not a subject of competition, rather of competition. And because of that, cooperation cross-borderly could be our good future and get us valuable assets. In the same moment, we promote the 3 Cs initiatives, and as you probably know, the third pillar is a digital pillar. And from that perspective, one of our projects is the digital highways. We try to promote that kind of project. Thank you very much, and enjoy that conference.
Thank you, Mr. Kroplewski. I think that the 3 Cs initiative that you mentioned is also very important. It shows that the digital transport also has a potential also in terms of security. So now the final, the last but not least on my list is Mr. Akaki Sagirashvili from Georgia, the Deputy Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. I'm deeply honored to be part of this ministerial session, which is dedicated to such an important topic as the development of digital transport corridors. Today, it was correctly mentioned that during the pandemic situation, we all evidenced how important electronic solutions are, starting from e-governance, e-commerce, e-learning, and now digital solutions. Prior to pandemic, we also had this vision, and we did a lot and initiated a lot. However, I just want to underline that this pandemic situation showed the highest importance of the digitalization of the corridors. As for our approach, taking this opportunity, I would like to highlight tangible progress what we have in Georgia in streamlining and simplification of customs procedures, largely thanks to technologies. For example, I can name integrated border management, 100% risk-based custom control, which we have implemented, unified electronic system of licenses, permits, certificates are already in place in Georgia, but this is not enough. Moreover, we are currently working on the digitalization of Georgia's maritime transport system to promote countries' integration into the digital logistics chain. Feasibility study on the establishment of maritime single window at Georgian seaports has been already completed, and its realization should deliver tangible benefits such as centralized information flow, automated information verification and analysis, optimization of the routines, and etc. This project will also contribute to the overall efforts of the corridor digitalization. International cooperation is of paramount importance when we talk about acceleration of digitalization in transport and logistics. In fact, in Georgia being part of various connectivity initiatives and organizations such as UN, CARIC, Middle Corridor, Guam, is actively engaged in pilot and other international endeavors for simplification of cross-border movements of the goods. Also, Georgia is implementing the new computerized transit system, increasing the connectivity with European Union. Furthermore, EU strongly supports Georgia and other Eastern Partnership countries in harmonization of digital markets under the EU4Digit initiative. And I think that the declaration of digital freight transport data exchange between Baltic Sea countries and Eastern Partnership countries is another step forward in this direction, and a clear demonstration of the country's interest and readiness digitalization issues. for improvement of transport connectivity and regional integration. Once again, I want to thank you for this brilliant initiative and ready and happy to be part of this very important project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was our last speaker. And if I may to conclude on this ministerial discussion, there's actually one key message I've got from everything I've heard today. And that actually came from Dominic Willems. That message was, don't stop. I think that is of key importance for us and for all the speakers we heard in the ministerial debate. Why? Because we have a declaration which provides us with a common language, so to say, to continue our efforts. Second, what we will do next is actually we will engage more between ourselves as countries on the expert level to unlock this potential that we have in those corridors. And that's another message. The focus on corridors is of key importance, especially between Baltics and the Eastern Partnership countries. Because I think due to probably geographical reasons, we have heard that we in these countries, Azerbaijan, Georgia, ports in Ukraine, we have much more complexity, we have much more stakeholders, and thus we have actually more difficulties, but with digital dimension, with the digital corridors, we can unlock this untapped potential. So I think that we can surely talk about a clear vision for the Baltic countries and the Eastern partnership countries becoming the leaders in the exchange of electronic documentation much earlier than 2024, and thus showing the way for the rest. Thank you very much. As my final sign, which I can probably, I guess, I can do on behalf not only of my ministry, but on behalf of the Baltic countries, on behalf of the Eastern Partnership countries. I'm looking here, Gytis is actually standing to jump on the stage. I actually, as a symbolic sign of our commitment to this, I will put this also, paper on your bunch of papers, and hopefully we will never, ever again come back on the stage with the papers. But Gytis, please, let me know what you will do with it.